Hey YouTube, what's up? I have something to talk about. Okay, something that I have not spoken about very much. I'm actually going to put my glasses on for this because I'm waiting on my DoorDash right now, and it's a stay inside type of day. And I'm having a beautiful day, to be honest. I want to talk about the adult industry. And for those of you who don't know, I have done PORN. I have also danced, okay? If you know, you know, in clubs. Also, I have done OnlyFans, and I've done everything under the sun that you can think of with the sex industry. And I just want to say, I started masturbating when I was 5, okay? Yes, that's how young I was. No one taught me how to do it. Okay, this is my story. I was not touched in a certain way, if you will. I'm not going to say the word because I don't want to get, BANNED on this video. Trying my best to keep it as PG as I can because I don't want that to happen. Praise God for this video. And, no one taught me how to do that when I was 5 years old. I just innately, naturally knew how to do it. I just naturally wanted to do it. Some could say that's a demon. Some could just say it's natural, and I have a high sex drive for a female, which I do. Honestly, I have a high sex drive for anybody. It's not just being a female. But I mainly want to make this video because the adult industry is not really spoken about. I have so many stories. I think I'm going to start a series on here to just talk about my experiences in the adult industry. And yeah, I'm not going to make every video about it, but I want to make it a big topic because it's a big part of my life. It has been a big part of my life. It's been something that I'm still working like in my healing with, and it's something that has been very active in my life, if you will. And it's interesting because I am abstinent right now, so I'm not having sex with anybody. But obviously I still have urges, just like anyone else. And I'm still very young. There's people that are in the adult industry well into their 40s. I'm not even 30 yet. And it's just, I feel like people glamorize it or they talk really bad about it. And I'm not trying to do either or by making this video. I just want to say, I want to talk about the mental effects that it's had and the emotional effects that it's had on me. I want to start there because rather than getting into the storytelling, I'll save that for other future videos because I'm going to make this a series, like I said. But I want to get into something that people don't really talk about, especially girls. Girls don't talk about it. I just want to start off like this. I have a very high sex drive, like I said. I've always, I wouldn't say struggled with because I don't view it in a negative way, but I've always masturbated like a lot. Like, let's just be real. Like, I'm a horny girl, okay? I really love sex. I love intimacy. I love being touched, like, by someone I love, preferably. Someone that I have a deep, deep connection with. I'm so passionate. Like, I'm a deep, deep lover. I've always been like that. I prefer and really want and desire to do that with one person. It hasn't always happened that way, clearly, but I just really enjoy sex so much. Like, I'm like actually a nympho. And it's so funny and it's ironic because I am very spiritual. I'm very close to God. I'm Christian. And there's just all this toxicity within the church and then religion and separation between church and state and all these laws that's been passed down in the Me Too movement and blah, blah, blah. And I'm Gen Z, so it's a whole other ballgame, and hookup culture is real. And all the stigma with women having high sex drives, and Not so much anymore, but used to be, and there's still remnants of that. And I just, no, I want to break all the social norms right now in this video. Like, I rebuke that in Jesus' name. Like, I rebuke all the shame and guilt with that, because I am a female. I have a high sex drive, and I am also abstinent. And it's because I have self-control, and self-control is one of the fruits of the Spirit. And I just really, I really have like been dealing with you know, effects from this industry, and it's not all bad. Like, I think, let me start with the positive. Because again, this video is like speaking neutral about it. It's not really bad, it's not good, it's just neutral. But there's been a lot of good blessings that's happened because of this industry that I've been in, and I just love that it's made me more open. It's made me more sociable. It's made me more emotionally intelligent. It's also made me less judgmental to people and their sexual turn-ons, and less judgmental to people in general. Like, you don't know where a porn stars came from, all right? You don't know who you're watching on that screen. You don't know what gets that person off and whether they're faking or not. Yes, men even fake with Cetaphil lotion on camera. They do a cut and then play back, okay? If you didn't know, now you know. You don't know if that's a real squirt or a fake squirt, because there's fake squirting machines, okay? You don't be knowing this stuff, all right? Unless you're doing it, and I've done it. And, you know, this, I love that it's made me more open. It's made me more compassionate, understanding towards people. Just, you know, having a bond with somebody that you're on set with, or having a bond with somebody that, you know, you're deeply in love with romantically as a boyfriend or a significant other. It's really beautiful, because it also elaborates and allows you to open up more emotionally and verbally. So I'm thankful that the industry has allowed me to be more of an effective communicator with like my turn-ons and like who I'm dating, and more accepting towards people. That's what I appreciate about it. You can't beat that. You can't beat acceptance. You can't beat receptivity. You just can't in a person. I don't think so. And God is all about accepting us and leading us into his love. And in Psalms, it says that he draws near to who draws near to him first. So he's like, if you draw near to me, I'll draw near to you, in Psalms. And God's very accepting with where you're at. He doesn't expect you to stay there, because he expects you to improve. But I just love how that's God's quality, you know. And I'm not trying to be blasphemous by saying that, like comparing the sex industry to God, but, you know, God did make sex, and God is very receptive and open to us, so why not? Actually, yeah, why not compare it, you know? Number 2, I want to say the other thing that, you know, has mentally and emotionally changed me is that, you know, it's made me a deeper lover. It's made me more attentive to people, to just know that everyone's different. Everyone comes from different backgrounds. You don't know what someone's been through sexual trauma-wise. And to just be, again, receptive towards that, but just an understanding towards that, but also like to ask more questions, and it's made me more caring, to like, not a people pleaser, but it's made me more of a giver, you know, because like when you're dancing in a club, for example, like you figure out what the guy likes when you're on set, on a porn set, before you start, you know, winging it. You have to ask what each other likes, and it just makes you more giving. It makes you more, makes you just a better lover overall. Like, you just care more. That's what I would say. Number 3, and now I'm getting into more of maybe a not so positive one. It's made me care about attention a lot. I think that already was a thing before I entered the industry, but it's just like, you know, I didn't grow up with the most attention. Being part Asian culture does not give you that much warmth when you grow up in first generation Asian culture. You know, I'm Korean and Japanese, and I also have other things in me as well in my blood. But my Asian side has been very prevalent in my life, and I grew up with my Asian grandmother, and it just was not the healthiest environment, let's put it that way. And I'm going to talk about my upbringing more in future videos, but it's just like, what are you going to do? It's it's sad because there's a lot of suppression in Korean and Japanese culture, and I also grew up with Chinese culture too, and I take Chinese herbs, I'm into Chinese medicine, and my grandmother speaks Korean, Japanese, and Mandarin. So, you know, I'm very, very educated with the Chinese. The Asians. I am Asian, so go figure. But it's like there's a lot of suppression, and I had to learn how to be emotionally open and communicative and vulnerable and be comfortable while I'm in that state. And to speak up more, because like Asian culture is all about suppressing your voice, especially as a female. And there's all this submissiveness in Asian culture. And I'm absolutely submissive. Absolutely. I have moments, but I'm also part Viking and I also have a voice and my IQ is higher than the average girl and I'm intelligent and I'm educated and I love to read books and I have degrees. Like I love to study, I love to learn. And so it's like, that doesn't really jive with traditional Asian culture. So I had the dual side, and I think I'm aggressive and outspoken and I'm a go-getter and a hustler because of my Viking side, but I'm also a submissive, soft, caring, gentle person because of my Asian side. And so that's why whatever is in your blood, it permeates through your being and your personality. And that's due to me studying anthropology. I was able to learn that, like how race affects your personality and how your upbringing, where you came from, what country you grew up in, what foods you eat, all of that shapes your personality. And so if you didn't know, now you know. But I studied biology, anthropology, and theology and neuroscience, and all of this is intertwined with spirituality. So there you go. I would say that was kind of like a 2-in-1 that I just did. Um, yeah, I just told you like 2 points in one. Yeah. So I technically gave you 3 or 4 points there. But I think another thing that, you know, dancing has, well, not only just to actually add on to the attention thing. So when sorry, I keep yawning. Oh, oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, okay. Ooh, sorry. Um, when you're on camera, when you're on set, and I've also been in acting school too, like when you're on set, when you're on stage in front of people, and when you're on stage being a dancer, in a club, and when you're the center of attention, it's kind of hard to like decenter yourself. It's kind of hard to like not expect that attention because you're so used to it. And I started to get used to it. I started to get really used to the attention and I still am, but like I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that it's a part of me. Um I am attractive. I also have a vibrant personality. I'm also a lover of God, so of course people are going to be attracted to me. And this isn't a bad thing. It's something that I have a magnetic force. I'm also a Pisces, and Pisces are the most magnetic sign there is when it comes to the zodiac. So if you didn't know, now you know. We have all 12 zodiac signs in one. And therefore, I'm naturally an attractive person. I'm not just saying physically, but emotionally, mentally, verbally, intellectually. And, you know, I have beauty and brains. And so, of course, people are going to be drawn to me. And I'm tall, I'm a model. So that being said, it's like since I have this magnetic force in me and around me, it's beautiful, and I also have the favor of God. I have people covering me in prayer and angels protecting me everywhere that I go. And I'll tell you what, there could have been so many bad things that happened to me in the industry, but God divinely protected me, and that's a story for another video. But God has just always kept his hand on me, no matter what I've done and been through, and no matter how bad I've been and good I've been. And it's just beautiful. I'm very grateful. I count my blessings, and attention is just a byproduct of that. It's yes, maybe I didn't receive as much growing up because of my upbringing, but also it's came back times 10, like in my later life, and I'm grateful for it. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think attention seeking or wanting attention is bad. I think it can become toxic for yourself when you need it. I don't need it, but I get it, you know? I don't need attention, but I have it, you know? And I don't need attention, but I like it. So I don't think it's a bad thing. Yeah, there's a big difference with that, with needing and wanting. Um, but also there's a big difference between needing, wanting, and having it. And I just have it naturally, and I will always have it because part of my spiritual gift is public speaking and connecting with people and my emotional intelligence that God gave me. So I'm naturally always going to have attention, right? Another thing that, the industry has affected me, it's made me like really, it's actually made more men, I feel like, because of my stories and because of my draw and magnetic force, and um, it's made more guys actually want to settle down with me. I think the guys that I've met, they really appreciate my past. They really appreciate my experience, and they appreciate like where I've came from and how I'm so positive still and how I'm joyful and how I am emotionally intelligent and I'm a deep lover and I'm a passionate lover, and they appreciate that. I've had guys that I've dated like say that to me, and I'm just like, I love you. Like, like thank you for being so positive and sweet and nurturing, even though I don't need your validation, but it's nice to have it. Um I've had nothing but positive feedback. I've had nothing but sweet, nurturing, kind men. Everyone's had crazy relationships, but I haven't had like a really bad one, and I think it's because like my presence demands respect. Like I never attract like a narcissist or like a guy who is like toxic or abusive because I'll set him straight for one, but also I have boundaries and I know myself and I'm confident and I love myself. And if you love yourself, people are naturally going to love you. It's law of attraction and law of assumption, all of those laws combined with that belief. And when you love yourself, it exudes and it shows, and people appreciate that. And people have no choice but to love you back. So the universe loves those who loves themselves. God helps those who helps themselves. So there you go. If you help yourself emotionally and mentally, people are also going to do that and mirror that effect. It's also made me more grateful. The industry has made me more grateful. My sixth point would be gratitude. I'm grateful for where I've came. I have a story. I'm interesting. I'm fun. I'm definitely far from boring. I have so much to give to this world, so much wisdom about it. I've also learned deeper on who I am and what I like, what I don't like. And I've been able to, you know, date more effectively, get those questions out quickly, and I can find out very, very quickly if something is going to work or not for me. Whether this guy is my soulmate or not, whether it's just temporary, whether he's just supposed to be a friend or a business partner, I can easily dissect a person and vet them out easier because of the industries that I've been in. And I'm grateful for that wisdom. I'm grateful for the vetting out effect and being more direct. It's also made me more direct on to go after what I want, what I deserve, and to only accept treatment that I deserve. And last but not least, it's always led me closer to God. Not that I'm in porn anymore because I'm not, I'm abstinent, but all of these experiences have just shown me how real God is and how He's divinely protected me from problems and instances that could have happened but didn't in the industry that were dangerous, but also God's protected my heart, mind, body, and soul, and He continues to. And um, I'm a firm believer on whatever you see with your eyes, it's on purpose for a purpose. You need to ask God, like, God, why are you allowing me to see this? Why are you allowing me to experience this? There's a reason. There's always a deeper reason why you're going through what you're going through. And I think that we need to grow more attentive and aware of that, you know. And it's really just made my dating life all around better and more clear. And I'm able to set boundaries more, know what I want, and formulate better standards. Because there's guys that are more physical, there's guys that are more intellectual and emotionally intelligent, and I wouldn't know the difference if I don't have the background and the history that I've been through. I also am able and have been able to make my own money. I mean, that's a big one. As a female, I think that's very important because unfortunately, but also fortunately, the world is not as traditional as it used to be. And am I a firm believer, and do I still believe in love and traditional roles? Absolutely. And I think they both coincide and go with and not against our biochemistry of our genetic makeup that God intended and made. But there's a but to that. It's now 2026. There's all these movements, and men are becoming weaker, women are becoming stronger, and we're in the matrix, and guys are painting their nails, and girls are, making the bread of the family. And so because of gender roles being all mixed up and people don't know what gender they are now, it's like, man, there's just so much going on. And so because of all of this, I think we can all agree that it's to each their own. There's many women that I know that are perfectly happy single and they're billionaires. I personally know these women. There's also women that I know that are amazing housewives, and they built a business together with her husband, and they're happy too, and they have kids. There's also women that are traditional that I know, and they have kids. They don't work at all. They don't do or help their man with their business at all, and they just raise the kids, and they're like traditional 1920s housewife, and they're perfectly happy too. And these people are Christian, atheist, Buddhist, you name it. They are all a mixture of religions and belief systems. And so my point is, it's to each their own. It's to each their own. There's no formula for every person, not everything. It's different strokes for different folks, okay? Different strokes for different folks, absolutely. I might actually name this video that or something. But I just want you guys to know everything you've been through is for a purpose. It's for a reason. Everything you've seen is for a reason. It's not by accident. Nothing is all an accident. Nothing happens by accident. Nothing is seen by accident or felt by accident. I'm grateful for my past, and I love that it's my past because no one else has my story. No one else has been a runway model like me and been in the adult industry and been a Christian and grew up with an Asian upbringing and has done improv comedy and acting classes and has been in deep relationships and has been married and divorced. Like, no one else has my story. And no one else is an athlete like me. Like nobody. Like, no one has my story. No one has your story too. So share your story. Your authentic story is what's going to sell. Your authentic story is what's going to get out to the public, and people are going to appreciate and respect you more. The more honest and open and vulnerable you are, the better that you are. Like, the better that your life is. And yeah, so I love you guys so much. This is part 1 of many, many videos. And I just wanted to do a little introduction of that. Love you guys so much. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll get into more deeper topics on this huge subtopic later. Love you guys so much. Bye.